Hello everyone, it's the week beginning September 17th, and once again I am taking command of this week in wrestling. I'm joined by Sam Driver. How are you?
Not bad, mate. You?
Yeah, not bad. Ross
Good.
on wrestling.
Aye, good, aye.
You're right, Ross.
Aye, good, aye.
Fair play.
Good.
Yeah, we're going to do all the usual stuff. We're going to talk about what happened on this week in wrestling, however many years ago. Going to talk about some birthdays. Going to sadly talk about some deaths as well. But generally, we'll give you a nice overview.
Generally?
This week in wrestling.
Where is Jen?
Generally. With
Where
a
is
J.
Jen? Where is she?
Scotland.
Aye,
Ridiculous.
up north, the Scotland. Let's get to it. So we begin on September 17th, 1981, where Ric Flair defeated Dusty Rhodes to win the NWA World Heavyweight Championship for the first time at a house show. Bloody NWA, what are they like? Hot start here.
Weren't they just all house shows back then?
That was the business, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, that's strike one from me as host. The Nature Boy would capitalise on Rhodes' knee buckling during an attempted suplex in order to win the title, which he would go on to hold for 631 days until he was defeated by Jack Veneno. However, Flair will be awarded the title back on the same night due to the fact that Veneno wouldn't defend the championship outside of his native land of the Dominican Republic. Let's talk about Ric Flair and the NWA Championship.
The Veneno thing's one of my favourite things in
I'm
wrestling.
not familiar with that.
So basically, Ric Flair went down to the Dominican Republic to have an exhibition match against Veneno.
Right.
Veneno was like a massive like babyface in the Dominican Republic, and it was like there's no chance he's going to beat Flair. But they turn up at the stadium on the day. It's Flair and Roddy Piper is with him, sort of escorting him to and from the ring and stuff. And apparently the crowd are so wild that they're on National Guard there with rifles, with all sorts of stuff. And once Flair got in the ring, they started wrestling and started like laying it in on Veneno. The crowd started like rioting, basically going mental, getting proper aggro. And then there's a story going around. I don't know how true it is, but basically Flair's like laying into Veneno, and then Piper gets up on the apron. And Flair just sees loads of the armed guards turn toward the ring, like looking very angry at Piper. And then Piper drops down, Flair shouts, "Roll me up," and then 1, 2, 3. The NWA obviously didn't want Flair to drop the title, so Veneno's now this national icon to the point where apparently they play the match on Christmas Day almost every year in the Dominican Republic because it's like such a huge national thing. There's apparently a really good film about it as well, but Flair then had to work out a way to get it back, so they had to make up the lie that he wouldn't defend it outside of the Dominican Republic. So, yeah. It's an unofficial reign as well, I believe. They never recognised it.
Well, that's good. But on this day, Ric Flair defeated Dusty Rhodes to win.
You know things you do, son.
Yeah, you bloody know
Doesn't
things.
matter. Doesn't matter.
Fair enough.
Veneno's a better story for me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, it's certainly...
That's not happened on this day, though.
Yeah.
You're talking about 631 days later.
That's fine, Ross. That's absolutely fine.
Only about not about...
But this is a poignant moment because of recent happenings.
Yes.
With Rhodes Jr.
Yes.
And the belt being restored to former glory, I guess, over the last few months.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those iconic NWA World Heavyweight title changes. Because Flair, I guess, is one of the more iconic NWA champions. Maybe the most.
Yeah,
Who else
I'd
would
say
be?
the most iconic.
Dusty Rhodes, Harley
Dusty,
Race.
Shane Douglas. Tim Storm.
Yeah, Tim Storm.
That's pretty much
He's
the
the big
order of
one.
things, yeah. Tim
Nick
Storm.
Aldis.
He did a good job at all.
He really did.
He was the classic old
And £10
bastard.
of gold's been great.
I haven't watched as much of it as I wanted to, but I think I've heard it's gone a long way to making it seem
Adam
important
Pacitti
again.
is on the latest one.
Is he?
Part of the Wrestling Media Con panel that we weren't on.
Oh,
That one.
Oh, okay.
right.
That one where we were excluded.
Watching from the crowd.
Blacklisted.
No, we were working. Not wrestling, we were doing interviews and that.
Sat at a lonely Virgil table.
Let's crack on and talk about the next day, September 18th in 2004. It's time to get indie-rific. In Highland, Indiana, AJ Styles defeated Samoa Joe and Bryan Danielson in the final match of the 2004 IWA Mid-South Ted Petty Invitational. We all love it.
Brother of Todd, of course.
Yeah.
Is IWA
Ted.
Mid-South Ian Rotten?
Brother of Tom, did you say there?
Todd, is
As in
it? Is it Todd?
Tom Petty.
Is it Tom?
The Heartbreakers.
Tom
The
Petty.
song.
Free Falling.
The man, yes.
Yeah, that's Tom Petty.
Aye, Tom.
Yeah.
God rest his dead soul.
Good Todd.
R.I.P. in peace.
Yeah. What were you saying, sorry?
Is it IWA Mid-South that's Ian Rotten?
It was for a time, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it had like such a bad thing around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think now Or back then it was more indie-rific, even though you might have still been in control. But this was before all the drama, I think.
Yeah.
And these days, I think it's actually more of a legit.
Yeah, because the RWA used to be like a big sort of thing, didn't it?
Yes, this 2-day tournament is regarded as one of the best indie shows in pro wrestling history. Future world champions in this tournament, obviously including AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, and Bryan Danielson, also include Roderick Strong.
Your favourite?
Well, I quite like Roderick Strong, yeah.
I thought you hated him because he was sneaky and climbed up the
table.
table.
On Wrestlers of the Week, yes, of course. Chris Sabin, who actually is one of my favourites. Austin Aries, CM Punk, and our favourite, War Nigel.
Big Nige
McGuinness. In a side note, AJ Styles was the 5th winner in as many tournaments. What? These aren't my notes, but does that means he won all 5?
You wouldn't put the brothers over, you know?
AJ.
I thought that was to mean he was the 5th winner and it was the 5th tournament.
So there was a different winner each time. Oh, that's far less controversial.
Yeah.
That makes a lot more sense. I think this just goes to show that Triple H is a massive fan of indie wrestling.
Yeah, he's got to be, hasn't he?
He's
running NXT. He's got to keep those indies in control.
Yeah.
Just got to wonder what Chris Sabin's done wrong down the years to not be in there now.
Too handsome, too small. He was a tag team wrestler primarily.
Yeah.
In his glory days.
He was great though, wasn't he?
Oh, Chris Sabin, the man of the hour. That's not his.
The
nickname.
king of the ring.
Yeah,
Intelligence and power.
14 years ago, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and Nigel, I guess. They're all in the E.
It makes me think, how young were these lads back then? And how good have they been for such a long time? Obviously, AJ Styles is approaching 40 rapidly.
He was just born wrestling.
Yeah.
AJ,
he's one of the most natural wrestlers. Alongside Daniels, to be fair. Interestingly, no, not Daniels, Bryan Danielson, I've read it wrong. I was going to say this was the same triple threat that was the excellent TNA match, but it wasn't. Obviously, Bryan Danielson wasn't in that. But, I mean, I don't know where you can find this. I'm assuming it'll
be out there
online,
somewhere. There'll probably be
somewhere.
DVDs you
There'll
can
be tapes.
purchase.
Go on torrents and stuff.
No.
Do not
Ross,
go on torrents.
Boy, you bloody rascal.
Killing the business.
For some reason, when I'm picturing this, I'm picturing it outside, but I doubt it was.
No, IWA used to run shows in armories and stuff. And yeah.
It was in Indiana. Shout out to our friend Michael Potts, who spent some time in Indiana.
No.
Why on earth have you brought him up on this?
Do your Mackin voice you used to do to
man, I can't be arsed on this Friday morning.
Michael's a good friend of ours.
I cannot believe it.
There we go.
Wrestling's not real, but Game of Thrones is.
It was a friend of ours who didn't like wrestling.
Infuriate the piss out of me, that.
But then he came to one wrestling show.
He came to a show and he loved it.
He came to one show, so a standard babyface versus heel tag
match.
He
came
the
to
heels
say
cheated
hello.
and he couldn't believe it. He was like,
I couldn't believe it.
Couldn't believe that.
But he wouldn't leave after that point. He came to just say hello and leave. And he stayed for the whole show.
Gets under your skin. Gets in your blood. September the 20th, 1997. Luckily, we're going to WWF now, more familiar territory for many of us. WWF presented one night only from the NEC Arena in Birmingham, England. About 11,000 were in attendance with just 20,000 homes watching on pay-per-view.
These were UK exclusive pay-per-views though, so yeah. I don't think they promoted them as heavily on the weeklies, if at all.
They were just house shows, weren't they?
It says here the reason for such a low number was that it was only made available in the UK and also Canada, though. In kayfabe, the WWF champion at the time, Bret Hart, used a clause in his contract to exclude US viewers from being able to see the event.
It's not those pesky satellite costs or anything at all, no.
Bret has that much control in his contract. The event was eventually made available on WWF Home Video in the US, but with 3 matches removed, including the title match. Then WWF champion Bret Hart was gone from the company by the time the event was released to American audiences. And that was to fit the 2-hour window, that's why it was chopped down. Should I run down the card?
I can just imagine before you do, just loads of Americans really worried about missing out on this, so driving up the border, sneaking into their mates' houses.
Catching a plane to Birmingham.
Yeah.
We got to get to Birmingham! The card was Hunter Hearst Helmsley defeating Dude Love in the opener. Tiger Ali Singh.
Christ, there's a name.
Lick me toes, daddy.
Yes, beating Leif Cassidy. Not the man who discovered America, the wrestler.
That would be Leif Erikson.
Bollocks, I knew it was familiar. Yes.
Did he discover America?
He chanced upon it before Columbus did or something.
Oh, right. All I know is Happy Leif Erikson Day, Yinga Hinga Durgan from SpongeBob.
Right.
Yeah.
The Headbangers.
Yinga Hinga Durgan.
He wakes up in bed and goes, Happy Leif Erikson Day, Yinga Hinga Durgan.
I guess that's
while dressed as a Viking.
Underrated man is SpongeBob SquarePants. The movie was a fine
one of my
thing.
favourite animated shows of all time, I think. It's great.
He wins with the power of rock and roll at the end. It's wonderful.
You got any facts about SpongeBob SquarePants?
You will.
A lot of the characters and their general behaviours are apparently influenced by realistic behaviours of
What?
the sea animals themselves. I can't think of any specifics, but I know that's a fact.
Like
Of the sea animals?
Because,
themselves?
like
is it
the-
actual sea squirrel?
No, like there's not a sea squirrel, but like there'll be basically, because I think the guy that created it was a marine biologist. A lot of the characters exhibit the same behavior. So like the most basic and obvious one is Patrick lives under a rock because starfish live under rocks. But
Okay.
like it goes a lot deeper apparently.
squids are like
Live in
introverted.
Stonehenge.
Yeah, but like
It's an Easter
Easter
Island.
Island.
Easter Island, bloody hell.
But like apparently,
I felt
yeah,
bad
a
for
lot of
Squidward,
a lot of
mate.
the things are. Yeah, the older you get, the more you realise Squidward was just a normal
wanted some
person
peace.
having,
Aye.
needing a normal time.
Living next to a child. Enough. Let's just talk about SpongeBob.
Yeah,
the whole thing.
go on.
The Headbangers, Mosh and Thrasher defeated Lost per request. Excuse me, they're not women, they're men.
Is that my phone?
Got a bloody message.
Christ.
It's from Savio Vega or Miguel Perez Jr. Maybe one of the two have lost per request. The Patriot defeated Flash Funk. Oh, here comes Too Cold Scorpio. That video is
It's
just
one of the
fantastic.
if anybody hasn't seen it, check out Too Cold Scorpio's WCW debut package. They sort of aired it in the week going up to.
Because he had a big cock.
They aired it in the weeks leading up
Apparently
to.
one of the biggest cocks the business ever seen.
They aired it in the weeks leading up to his debut, and it's basically Too Cold Scorpio in a limousine catches some kids skiving school. So he decides to out basketball them,
Yes.
and then puts them in his limo. Oh no, he doesn't. They just walk to school. I think.
He
They
drives
dance.
off, I think.
He drives off, and they
Yeah,
all
yeah.
dance to school.
Yeah. The Legion of Doom, Hawk and Animal defeated the Godwins. Vader defeated Owen Hart, which I imagine was actually probably quite a good match.
Yeah.
Brett defeated The Undertaker by DQ. Classic house show finish.
Oh,
And Shawn Michaels defeated the British Bulldog to win the European Championship, which made Michaels the first Grand Slam champion in WWF history, winning all 4 available championships.
In England?
Was this the one where...
It's recognised as one of Bulldog's best ever matches. I know that much.
Is it the one where Bulldog was meant to win, and then his wife was there and stuff, or his sister or someone, all his family were there, excited to see him win, and then Michaels just won, and they were like,
yeah. I think
bollocks.
it was.
Was it that one?
Yeah.
Oh, it's terrible from Shawn.
Ridiculous.
Terrible behaviour. But no, you know, this was back in the day when WWF... Well, no, it wasn't, was it really? It wasn't when... It was before the days of Insurrection and Rebellion. When they
Yeah,
were
I was
proper
still
big
heartbroken. I never got to go to Insurrection 2003.
My mate went.
I thought you
Yeah.
went.
I didn't go.
You
No.
got a Rebellion.
You saw WCW
I went
live
to-
though. I'm so jealous.
I
of
went.
that.
I just went to a WrestleMania Revenge tour, mate. I took a sign
yeah.
that said "Big Show needs Atkins." The irony, hey.
I thought...
But no, my mate went to Insurrection 2003, where that was when I realised these British pay-per-views are just house shows, aren't they? They're bollocks.
There's still something about JR saying live from the Telewest Arena in Newcastle.
Chris
England,
Jericho
that it's just
going,
like,
you Newcastle wankers. Going down the Irish pub down the road. Where's that, Chris? There's no Irish pub down the road from the arena.
Is there an Irish pub in
the
Newcastle?
one across the station, I think, used to be.
There's one next to St James's Park.
Yeah.
What, the Strawberry?
The
No,
Irish
the
bar.
Irish. It's
Oh,
called
it's
like
not-
the
it's not
Newcastle
Irish bar.
Irish Club or something. But I think the one opposite Central Station used to be an Irish theme bar.
That might have been where Big Chris meant. He might be a historian of Newcastle Town.
Cody Rhodes knew a lot about Newcastle.
Did he?
That was really odd. Like he knew what Grey Street was.
I
and
don't think he knew where he went, though.
No, he didn't know where he was going.
In his 3-piece suit to ride. Watch out for these lads spilling the fire buckets on you, Cody. Huge. Sorry, I forgot to introduce the next point. We're going to 1999, still
Yeah.
September the 20th, for a huge episode of Raw is War from Houston, Texas. The Rock and Sock Connection defeated the Unholy Alliance, obviously Undertaker and Big Show, in a Dark Side Rules match to win the Tag Team Championships. Their second tag title win as a team, and the 6th overall reign for Mankind. It would also be Undertaker's last bout for a while. The next night of the SmackDown taping, he was written off via a walkout when he refused to participate in a casket match, but it was just to recover from a groin injury. I don't remember this tag match.
Me neither. The promo springs to mind, though. I left him in the desert on his motorcycle and put the tyres down.
Weren't the Unholy Alliance sort of a very short-lived
Find your way
thing?
back, Big Show, you mug. Oh.
What's a Dark Side Rules match then?
I've got no idea.
Sam?
Sam knows things.
Dark Side Rules.
Let's have a Google. Do a flashback,
I'm going to
Richard.
continue to... No, it's all right. There's more notes to read. Oh, I thought you were actually going to Google it.
I was going to Google.
I've got more to read, so you can do it if you
Okay,
want.
I'll do it. I'll find out what the Dark Side Rules match was.
Vince McMahon vacated the WWF Championship just 6 days after defeating Triple H for the title. I think that's actually bigger news on this show, rather than the title change.
I think it's in chronological order, is it not?
Oh, I see.
Maybe not.
He
Because
also...
the last one's there. Oh, A dark day in the history of professional wrestling.
I can't wait to get to it. He also got reinstated into the company by Steve Austin in exchange for Austin being the referee in the main event of Unforgiven that weekend. Austin, that seems like a bad deal. I feel like he didn't really weigh up his options too well there.
No.
And being the first man in line to challenge for the belt once a new champion was crowned, fair play. And then the thing that Ross was referring to, we had a massive debut on the show, Sam.
Right.
Guess
Stephanie,
who it was, Sam?
Oh,
He's just...
Oh, Christ, man.
Steffi Graf.
Coming down the aisle. Stephanie McMahon made her in-ring debut. Oh my God. That action there really made... I can't wait to say that back. I feel like I really went for it. Stephanie McMahon made her in-ring debut in an intergender tag team match and won.
Quelle surprise, as the French would sort of say.
She got off to a winning start as her and her boyfriend at the time, Test, defeated Intercontinental Champion Jeff Jarrett and Deborah, who was his manager, I think.
Any members of the Unholy Alliance could wrestle.
Right.
So
brilliant.
there was two of them.
Yeah.
There might have been some druids or something knocking about.
I guess it might have been like they could just wrestle at the same time. Like I don't know.
It sounds hardcore.
90s.
But that Taker used to get on Hal Big Show because it used to be a work-shoot kind of relationship. Because obviously Big Show came in with a big reputation but wasn't living up to it. So Vince put him with The Undertaker, and Undertaker was like, "How, Bonnie lad, get in line. Whoopah! I'll whip you into shape." So that's why that tag team came about, and apparently when Taker would sit down on commentary and just leave Big Show to have handicap matches, that was like a tester thing.
So sort of like when CM Punk wouldn't put a suit on but more public.
What would Undertaker just... I think that was just
It's more like a mentorship, apprenticeship that Big Show had.
On Football Manager, you got a promising new player in the youth team. Get him mentored by one of the starting 11. See how that works out for him. Sometimes I don't know if it actually works.
Sometimes they get like found in a nightclub, like just blacked out.
That's if you designed Football Manager. I don't know what you've been designing, Sam. We're sticking with the same day, but we're going to 2015 for Night of Champions from the Toyota Center.
It's not a phone, it's the table.
In Houston, Texas.
Because for some reason in recent weeks, this side is now lower than this side.
Well, there's a trigger on the side you can lift the tables
Yeah, I know,
with,
but it doesn't go anywhere, Sam.
I don't know, Ross. I just don't know. Maybe that's as high as it goes in this one. Anyway...
They're both the same table, though. Why
They
would
are,
one be
but
slightly higher?
It
craftsmanship,
depends how
that.
drunk we were when we built them, doesn't it? Basically, that's what we've got to
drink.
admit to.
None of us drink here at Cultaholic. You shouldn't
Pop
drink
world.
at home either.
Pop World.
Drinking's bad for you.
Pop World.
From the Toyota Center in
Eat
Houston,
organic
Texas.
foods.
Night of Champions 2015.
Get 8 hours sleep every
How
night.
does Jen bloody do this? Week in and week out she does. In a pre-show matter, we've gone in order. I'm gonna actually just pick out some highlights.
I mean, like, this show is
Yeah.
remembered for one thing and one thing only, and that is a massive old buckle bomb.
Well, I remember
Yeah.
it for Seth Rollins pulling
Killing
double
one of my
duty
childhood
and doing
idols.
quite well. He did quite
Apart
well.
from ending the career of Sting.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I think Rollins got a lot of flack for that.
Yeah, I mean, you can't place the blame solely on one
It's
person.
a double-edged sword, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a silly move to do, and when you're 56 or whatever he was at the time, you shouldn't be taking moves
Well,
like
that's
that.
it. Like, there's two sides of the coin. You have to accept to do something.
Blame
It's
the
not like he's
producer.
gonna do something.
Let's just blame Road Dogg.
I don't think you
so
can blame
everyone does.
anybody because it's got to be ran by everybody, and that's it. But if you were the internet, you'd blame Road Dogg, wouldn't you?
We are the internet, so we are going to blame Road Dogg.
We are the children.
But the thing
I
that
thought you
I'm
were going to go into Off the Night there for some reason.
oh, what tune to just
What
to
song was I singing there? We are the day.
We Are the World.
We Are the World.
Michael Jackson, isn't
Michael
it?
Jackson.
Yeah.
I watched the documentary with Bashir for the first time
Oh,
the other day.
really?
We
It's
are
horrible.
the
Oh,
ones who make
horrible.
a brighter day.
What a prick Martin Bashir is.
Let's start living. Seth Rollins pulled double duty on the night, defending both of his titles because obviously it was Night of Champions. Every title had to be defended, which is a rule that I don't think's been strictly stuck to over the years.
Yeah.
But in this one it was, and it was quite a clever story. I thought they were like, well, you're a double champion, you've got to wrestle twice. He wrestled Cena first and lost, and then I thought Cena was a dick. Like, Cena's all about hustle, loyalty, and respect, and he knows that Rollins has got another match coming up right there and then. And I think he gave him an attitude adjustment on the ramp. To be like, well, you're going to lose your belt now, your other belt.
Yeah, but that's a big old like a red herring, though, isn't it?
Well, it was. I got the
Yeah.
point of it, but I think Cena was a knob for doing so.
Do you want to just look down the camera and challenge him, call him out?
No. Then Seth Rollins, he's a very large man. Then
is.
Seth Rollins did actually beat Sting and did unfortunately injure him. Sting had to undergo
I was
surgery.
heartbroken I never get to see Sting wrestle.
Yeah, he's one of your boys, isn't
Yeah.
he? You're a WCW lad.
I
Yeah.
got to see him wrestle.
I know, that's why I'm
At the Teddy West Arena.
insanely jealous of
Who
you.
did he wrestle?
I've got no idea.
Oh.
The card was
Kevin
stacked.
Nash.
I think it was a 6-man tag involving Nash and Booker T.
That was 99, wasn't it?
My only abiding memory from that house show is Kwee-wee.
Why?
I don't know, he came frolicking down with his glitter and whatnot. It spoke to me as a child, it did.
Was there not any Ernest the Cat Miller?
I've got no idea. I got me Jeff Jarrett Slapnuts foam guitar, and Kwee-wee was there, and that's all I remember.
I don't know why as a kid, I just really loved Ernest the Cat Miller.
Yeah.
Like, properly loved him.
1, 2.
It's just great.
He's just James Brown.
Yeah.
He's just James Brown. Moving swiftly on. Oh, yes, and I should mention as well that the following April, Sting would announce his induction into the WWE Hall of Fame.
That was...
He announced that he retired during his induction to the WWE
Yeah, it
Hall
was
of
weird
Fame.
seeing him without makeup and everything in a big old suit. I mean, you've seen him before without makeup, but in a suit, it was just like...
Yeah. I think he was the first of Kenny's best close personal friends.
Really?
You know,
I think
Kenny...
DDP was the first, and then Sting.
Sting knows Kenny.
I'm up to
quite
date
well.
on my Inside the Ropes history.
On September the 22nd, 1996, WWF brought us In Your House Manned Games from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And it was the professional wrestling debut of Mark Henry, who just competed in the Summer Olympics. Well done, Mark.
And after this, they
America!
tried to get him to quit for about, what, 8 years?
Yeah, he had a bad time of it, did Mark. But he gurned respect.
Gurned
it over the years.
Gurned it.
Yeah, Gary Dean backstage. I'll just run down the card very quickly. In a pre-show free-for-all match, it was Vega versus Giannetti, and Savio Vega won. Savio Vega then, hang on, is this correct? Maybe. Defeated Justin Bradshaw in a Caribbean strap match.
I think it is, because Vega was the only man to have Caribbean strap matches back then.
But I just mean because he had 2 matches. Jose Lothario defeated Jim Cornette in what was a 5-star classic. Owen Hart and the British Bulldog defeated Bart and Billy Gunn to win the tag team titles. Mark Henry defeated Jerry Lawler in his debut. The Undertaker beat Goldust in a curtain call match.
I'm
What
not
was the
Googling
stip
again.
of that?
Oh. What do you can Google?
What are you doing? Curtain call match?
Yeah.
Curtain
I
call.
don't know. All I know is there was strong undertones of homosexuality throughout.
Of course, because that was the whole thing they were playing off with Goldust.
It was on Raw, I think. Goldust knocks down Taker I think it must have been in the month before this, and then he grinds up against him like a dirty diddler. And Taker, all credit to him, keeps a straight face, stays still, lets Goldust do his thing. I'd have been giggling like a little girl, mate.
Dustin, stop it, man.
Stop it, Dustin.
And in the main event, Shawn Michaels beat Mankind to retain the championship, but it was by a dirty DQ.
One of the best matches from Mankind's WWE career.
Yeah?
It's the one where they go through the table and all that stuff.
Oh, fantastic. Right. I mean, Mankind's signature match was obviously the Hell in a Cell against Undertaker, but he did have some very good ones. The one against Triple H was fantastic.
The other one against Triple H was the Royal Rumble one. That was another one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
This is the other one, though, outside of those ones.
I don't know if...
He's all right, isn't he, Mick?
Yeah. I don't know if he was renowned as a particularly good wrestler, but he gets emotion in, doesn't he?
Yeah,
especially as a baby
He's
face.
a good, like, showman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheese
With
favourite.
Mark Henry, though, wasn't it like a 20-year contract he signed?
10, I think it was.
10,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Like, just guaranteed 10-year contract, and that's why they were, like, sort of giving him all those gimmicks to get him to sort of be like, I'm not doing this.
And
Yeah.
they offered Angle one soon after, but Angle was like, you know, if I sign this 10-year deal, I can never lose. And he's just like... he sent him away. And he went to ECW, the cross thing happened.
Yeah, and he went,
and then he
"I
came,
will sue you."
Yeah, and then he came back and was like, is that contract still there, Vince? He's like, nope.
I think Mark Henry being offered a 10-year deal is the biggest example of Vince McMahon being blinded by his love for big sweaty men.
Yeah.
He just saw him and went, wow, Gary.
Was this-
He
Strong."
can pull a truck, damn it!
When was it that he did World's Strongest Man then? Because he obviously came straight out of the Olympics.
Yeah.
And then they incorporated it like into his gimmick. He was away for a while.
Well, he's
wasn't
like
he?
2002, wasn't it, when he
Yeah.
used to pull the trucks and whatnot, and then he was on SmackDown flipping cars and
Yeah,
stuff.
that was it.
I've got a lot of
We had that
respect.
theme. The beat kicks, now start rocking. Dun, 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 to the beat.
I've got a lot of respect for Mark Henry because he, in a sort of Dusty Rhodes way, when he joined the WWF as well, he was given all these crap gimmicks and just did it and got his money and just lived the life.
And then we got the fake retirement speech in the Hall of Pain, and we
that
got
was
we got
class.
one big
He
run
got
with
his-
him, which was great.
He
Then
got
we-
his just deserved.
Yeah.
Then we got that episode of Raw where like PMS got squirty cream and ball gagged and stuff. Oh, yeah.
Swings around a pound.
Yeah, I love it.
Ball gags and title reigns. That's going to be my autobiography. Sticking with September the 22nd, we're moving to 1997 for an iconic moment in WWF history. It was, I believe, the first example of Stone Cold Steve Austin giving Vince McMahon a big old stunner. A weird stunner in hindsight.
Almost as if Vince McMahon had never seen a stunner before this one.
I can't remember how he falls forward.
He falls forward and then goes...
It's not as bad as Linda. Linda is the worst sell I've ever seen.
He goes down on Austin's back, so he chest bumps Austin's back and then just flops on the floor.
And then does a bit of that.
Because I know Linda sort of like kneels and then just sort of like sits down.
Linda can do whatever the f she wants, you know.
She's part of the government now, so she can.
It was also the WWF debut of Cactus Jack, Mick Foley's, one of his three iconic personas, one of his two iconic personas.
It's
Dude
definitely,
Love.
I think, the most famous outside of Mankind.
Well,
originally and back then as well, like when Mankind was sort of...
he was bringing it back to WWF.
Yeah.
He was bringing it back, sorry,
well, he was told,
the first time in WWF.
He was told, like, we're not bringing Cactus Jack to WWF. They wanted him as Mason the Mutilator, and then Mankind the Mutilator, and then just Mankind.
Yeah. I like Mankind as a character, but I think one of the best moments in Foley's WWF run was when he brings back Cactus Jack for one of his matches against Triple H, and Triple H is terrified.
You can't believe it.
Yeah, he's like, what? And Triple H looking shocked and angry is a very good
How does he do
expression.
again? He's like, I may not be able to do it, but I've got a friend that can.
And then he takes off the
takes
thing.
off and he's got the Cactus Jack t-shirt on.
Wrestling's silly, but also excellent at the same time.
So good.
Did anything else happen on this show? On the same night, we had a Nitro, of course. It was noted for the debut. What a night for wrestling this was. For the debut of one Bill Goldberg.
In a match against Hugh Morris.
Hugh Morris.
I wonder if he won. Only joking. Of course he bloody did. God.
Goldberg was like, I loved him as a kid. Absolutely loved him.
Yeah.
I just thought he was the best. Like, I didn't think he couldn't wrestle. Didn't think anything like that. Just like,
when
the fact he would just come in and just like smash everybody.
Yeah.
And like, especially, I remember distinctly once Disco Inferno, he just came out and just leveled him.
Yeah.
And wouldn't stop either.
I remember one against his trainer or something, against the coach or whatever.
Was this against Sarge?
Sarge. Yeah, I remember that one.
Have you not seen the Louis Theroux documentary with the power plant?
It's just shades of
Sarge is
Adam Pacitti.
like,
It's fantastic.
Sarge is the head trainer at the power plant.
Oh,
and
he's
he's
a
like
bit of a dick.
proper aggro.
Bit Full Metal Jacket.
But Louis does ask him a silly question.
He does, yeah. He puts him on the spot.
Is it staged?
Yeah.
He's packing down Nitro.
And then he beasts him. He properly beasts him at the training session.
Louis Theroux could batter Sarge if he wanted. Lanky
could.
man like that. Look at the range on Louis Theroux.
He could like slap him at a distance.
Yeah.
Like that.
I want to see Louis Theroux. You know all these YouTubers have been doing boxing matches?
Yeah.
The dream match, I know he's not a YouTuber, but Louis Theroux versus Adam Pacitti would be the dream.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that.
I'd take Theroux versus Herzog as well. I think Herzog would batter him, even though he's proper old now.
Any more documentarians you want to chuck
David
in?
Attenborough.
Nick Broomfield.
With a gun.
I'd take Attenborough versus Broomfield. We can sort that out, BBC.
He rides in proper colonial on the back of an elephant. And now we see...
Here we see. See you later.
Okay, now you don't get this sort of crack with Jen, do you? No, David's a wee sweetheart. He would never shoot anyone. September 23rd, 1987. The start of the Mega Powers. Macho Man Randy Savage, of course, and Hulk Hogan.
The most intense handshakes in the world.
Mountains and mountains and mountains of cocaine.
Yes, yes.
I thought you were going to quote one of their promos. I thought
That was one
line.
of their promos. Just reading between the lines.
It was a strange partnership, wasn't it? Because they proper didn't like each other. Or there was a lot of professional jealousy going on. Because Hogan stole all the limelight. Savage was not the better character, but the better wrestler by far.
Yeah.
He's fantastic to watch. He's one of my faves from the olden days. And it led to that big match at WrestleMania 5.
I often wonder where it was a shoot, brother, because obviously Hogan was celebrating with Liz during this tag team tandem, and Macho get a bit jealous and go,
Oh, do you think that was
what
the
are
seed?
you doing? Yeah.
And then they went, let's turn this into a story.
Yeah.
They
That's
did
what
that on.
that was the story
they
told.
mentioned it. Was it
Oh, right.
Confidential? They did WWE Confidential, where they go back and there was one where they just trashed Macho Man a little bit. But it was when they were talking about Miss Elizabeth, and they were like, he was quite a jealous person. I was like, oh,
That's what I mean. I think this storyline might have been a bit of a shoot.
Yeah.
He was quite possessive, wasn't he?
I mean, they did just take the piss out of that at All In.
Yeah.
With Jay Lethal's being Randy Savage. What's a big
I'm
Randy
not
Savage
Liz.
trait? Very jealous. Just got Brandy, took it to the corner, and yeah.
I found out the gear he was wearing was authentic.
They got it from a
was lent to
collector.
him, Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. But the Mega Powers, I guess, are one of the maybe the biggest like super tag team in wrestling history. I don't think you can get much bigger than
Was
that.
it the first SummerSlam main event against the Mega Bucks,
Yeah.
who are, of course, the granddads of the Young Bucks? Of course.
Yes.
Ha!
When Liz ripped off her skirt. Oh, what a dirty temptress.
Apparently she was meant to go full on rip off and reveal a bikini, but Macho was like, nope, that's a bit too far, that, you know.
And even just the skirt, everyone's like, whoa!
She's got an arse!
She's got legs in that. Jesus. I think it's Gorilla and Heenan. Maybe. Just absolutely losing their minds. It might be Ventura, I'm not sure. But they're just like, oh, goodness. Is it not a heel thing?
Why did you do Lord Alfred Hayes'
My voice
goodness?
I guess I imagine he was backstage. Can't quite believe what I've just seen. Gino, if you could report back from the ring.
The first King of the
Lord
Ring with him
Alfred Hayes.
explaining the rules is one of my favourites. And then the next man will go through, and then what we will see, and he's like there's a huge
very
board
good.
with little Velcro stickers.
It's just a tournament. It's just a tournament. If you've ever watched any sport, it's just a tournament.
The
But
men will wrestle more than once.
That's fantastic.
Like bloody penful.
It sounds like the bloke who sings the Danger Mouse theme. Here I come to save the day. Moving on to 1995, September 23rd still, where Steve Austin made his ECW debut in New York, Middletown, New York, just before the main event, which was a Sandman versus Mikey Whipwreck title match. Later that evening, he cut the infamous Stevester promo, where he mocked who?
The Hulkster.
Hulk Hogan, yeah.
Yeah, like superstar Steve Austin was just great.
Steve CM Punk Austin here,
Yeah.
shooting some shoots backstage.
Well, he would plead with Bischoff in them and stuff, wouldn't he? And he
wanted to give him his job back.
Bischoff
Yeah.
fired him with a FedEx while he had a, what was it, bicep injury or something? Or?
Yeah, something like that. And Austin didn't take too kindly to it, I think it's fair to say. And essentially made the springboard for his career in the process. Because he was always a fantastic wrestler.
But he just became a massive badass here.
Yeah, he really brought out the charisma that he could show.
Yeah.
And then got hired by WWF. And then the screw job happened. And the rest is, well, the King of the Ring promo, then the screw job, and then the rest is history.
What do you say is like a change on that level? Because I think Evil Doink is a change on that level.
Evil Doink?
Yeah, like Doink being an arse instead of being all that happy and stuff.
Kane.
Kane being happy.
Yankum.
Kane.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
Yankum
Yeah.
to Kane.
I don't know, really.
What was the name of him again when Matt Bourne went down to ECW and he wasn't Doink, but he was just Doink?
He was
dunno,
Doink, but it was like Dirty Doink.
Yeah, he was sort of like
Doink.
he was like a hobo clown. And
Yeah.
they, like,
Oh,
made
it was,
him, like,
what the hell was it? It wasn't like a name, it was like a thing.
yeah, but he was like
Forgotten it.
his promos
Yeah, it
was
was
so
amazing.
good.
I think a big one that'll be looked back upon if his career pans out as everyone thinks it will would be tough enough rookie Patrick Clark to Velveteen
Oh
Dream.
God, yeah. I mean, his career's not going to not pan out. Look at him.
unless he gets horribly injured.
Yeah,
Let's hope he doesn't. But
Yeah.
he's class. He's so good. Right. I guess we'll do the deaths first and then end on a happy note with the
yes, I
birthdays.
suppose we will.
So unfortunately, we do have some deaths. We're starting off with a massive one, an iconic figure in wrestling. In 2017, at the age of 72, it was sadly Bobby Heenan's death. I mean, a legend of the business, the best manager of all time, the best probably color commentator of all time, fantastic at two things. And one of the people, like, when you go back and watch old wrestling, sometimes the matches are you're like, oh, it's a bit sloppy, it's a bit slow. And there's few things that are as good as they are today, but Bobby Heenan is one of them.
Heenan could take a turd of a match and just make it like worth watching.
Yeah.
Just by talking alone. It was fantastic.
Yeah, he was great. I remember a segment I saw on one of the most recent OSW reviews, where he's introducing Lex Luger, the narcissist, and he's got to talk for 5 minutes about basically how fit Lex Luger is, and he does it and makes it entertaining. He's like, look at his body.
He starts lifting up the curtain, doesn't he?
The curtain comes down.
He's
and
like,
that's the end of the segment. He's like, no, give me a few more seconds, please.
There's also, of course, him trying to get into Raw in various disguises
as a woman. Yeah. There's maybe the most famous match that he called the 92 Royal Rumble, where he wanted Flair to win. It was his boy. Flair comes in at 3 and he starts off devastated. He's like, can't believe the Flair's going to get screwed like this. And as Flair gets closer and closer to winning, he gets more and more desperate. And it's just, I think he takes an already fantastic Royal Rumble and makes it the one that's regarded as the best of all time. And it's largely, or partly, I guess, down to Bobby Heenan. The funniest Hall of Fame induction speech.
The best Hall of Fame speech ever.
Yeah.
You not seen it?
No.
Talks about animals and all sorts. Just a funny 10 minutes. Go and watch it.
Yeah.
He kept it to 10 minutes as well.
I think so.
Absolute legend. You see it like these days.
Yeah.
I remember being there live in Beth Phoenix. I was just
very
like, pulling my
different.
eyes out.
Very different back then. The Hall of Fame. It was like in a little smoky old man's club thing.
Yeah.
Not a hall.
One of my
An arena.
One of my favorite Heenan moments as well is when, you know, the whole Big Show, the Giant and Hulk Hogan fighting on the roof, and Hogan gets like knocked off.
Yeah.
And then someone's like, Heenan's like, which side did he fall off? Which side?
Was it the river? Was it the street?
Was it the river? And then Bischoff goes, well, on one side you got the river, the other side you got the parking lot. What difference does it make? Which makes no sense. And then Heenan...
Either he splashes into water or he splats on concrete and
Heenan
dies.
goes, he just cuts back to the comedy, but Heenan just goes... Just like, it's really good. Yeah, Bobby Heenan. A legend of the biz.
I think that was some of his best work came in WCW where you could just tell he was there for the money and nothing else, and it was fantastic.
Yes. Yeah. In 2002, we had Flyboy Rocco Rock, who sadly died of a heart attack at the age of 49.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know too much about Flyboy Rocco Rock.
I only know him from the bloody promo from One Night Stand. That's where I recognise him from, which is sad.
Yeah.
But, you know,
I didn't really watch a lot of ECW like sequentially when I was younger, but you know,
obviously a great tag team wrestler.
Yeah, God, yeah.
Yeah. And in 2004 as well, the Big Boss Man at 41 years of age.
Yeah.
I like Big Boss Man.
Yeah, he was great. He was one of my mum's favourites, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't like him as a kid. I was like, oh, Big Boss Man. But he was...
He had like a badass gimmick when he was like wearing all the SWAT gear and stuff and coming out. I thought he was quite cool.
Yeah. He's someone who underwent like a big transformation because he used to be like much larger.
Yeah.
And he wore like the police uniform and stuff. And then he really updated his gimmick for the new era.
Yeah, he became like a proper threatening.
Dark,
and also he gave us the infamous promo where he stole Big Show's dad at the cemetery.
For God's sake.
Like, which is just
and he's a good poet as well.
That poem.
Rhymed choke with croak, I think I remember. And he also cheated death once before he did actually die at WrestleMania 15.
Yeah.
He got in a Hell in a Cell and he got hung.
Yeah. And Michael Cole just immediately in the ring afterwards, just not talking about it whatsoever.
Didn't you say they threw to the...
They throw to... Oh, this is one of my favourite things. I don't know if you've seen it. I showed Jack it the other night. But
again, this isn't linked to... We're obviously very sad that Big Boss Man passed away.
Yeah.
But this is just a funny moment that happens to involve Big Boss
Man.
So
I was working on... we're doing like a Hell in a Cell thing at the minute. And basically... Yeah, like there's the Hell in a Cell match and Boss Man's hanging. And then it just fades to black. And there's this thing called like the WrestleMania Rager party or the WrestleMania Rage party. And it's sort of like a massive frat party, but for WWF.
We talked about it on there.
I guess it's sort of like Access before Access.
And,
yeah.
And I was telling Matthew about it, and he knew immediately what it was.
Yeah.
Because Matthew knows loads.
Yeah.
And then I was like, someone was in it. Who was it? And then he went, was it not Chef from South Park? And I was like, it was Chef from South Park.
Yeah, so it's just cut into all these people. There's a swing band. There's Isaac Hayes. Mankind introduces Isaac Hayes by going like, I've got a really sore leg, so I can tell you now that pimping ain't easy. Throws to Isaac Hayes, who is playing Chocolate Salty Balls from the South Park soundtrack.
It's a natural progression from seeing a man being hanged.
It's just... It was
Suck
insane.
on my child.
Then they're doing like promos and stuff, and the audience are just sort of a bit like blown away by it. It
looks very dirty.
Just go to the end of that match and watch the advert. I implore you all.
But of course, Big Boss Man, a great lad, greatly missed. I thought he was good.
Yeah,
good chef as well. Cooked a dog.
It's yes.
Oh, he did. Yes.
It's time for Jen's favourite part. Let's give her a ring. No, let's not. It's time for birthdays. Oh, I love birthdays. Isn't it quite a simple and childish thing to love someone else's birthday this much?
Wow.
Sorry,
Jack's shooting hard.
His
all
words
capital
are
letters, exclamation point.
Sam, I'll let you take this one because he's your friend.
Oh,
yes, 17th of October, Jim Cornette. September. September.
It's Jim Cornette.
Jim Cornette, 57 years old. Of course, Jim Cornette, legend of the business, Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
You've been to his house?
Been to his house. I've seen Bobby Heenan's jacket in his house. That was great. Nice. He has one of the biggest collections of wrestling memorabilia. It's like priceless. It's insane.
And also, apparently, he can really put his food away.
Oh, yeah, God.
To an incredible degree.
Yeah, like he just... Every single meal we ate was like 3 courses, and I don't know how I wasn't dead.
Yeah,
by the end of that trip.
Apparently, he was like, these poor British kids coming over here.
Yeah, he was like,
their meals.
That was it, basically.
He also told me, he insulted me a lot when I met him.
Yes.
said that I couldn't get a date on a tombstone.
Well,
And more graphic ones that I can't repeat on here.
I've got the Midnight Express book, and it's got like a section dedicated to him because obviously he was the manager, and he prints all of the first instances of hate mail and death threats he got, and then there's about 4 straight pages of one-liners, like you couldn't get a date on a tombstone.
He told me on camera that I looked like I'd went to give blood and forgotten to say when. On the 19th of September, we have 3. We've got Gerald Briscoe.
Big Jerry.
I can't really. I've met Pat Patterson now. But
Yeah.
not Briscoe. One of the 2 Stooges.
Yes.
Gerald Briscoe, the other one, the dark-haired one.
Briscoe was, of course, a one-time WWF Hardcore champion.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he fell asleep. He pinned someone who was asleep.
He pinned Crash Holly, who was asleep. And it was really sad. It was like, 1, 2,
Bring back.
and he's like doing this. Just
Bring back the 24-hour hardcore chat. Because on the network. Don't have it on a show.
Don't even on the network. In the age of social media, it'd be amazing.
Twitter and that. Yes, do it. Why haven't they done it already?
Bring it back.
I think they will do it. Hopefully. And also, Ross's favourite female wrestler of all
Really?
time.
Yeah.
Eva Marie.
I think it was somebody else's favourite wrestler.
I thought you were
Definitely
like
was.
I thought you were like aghast that she was on the main roster.
Two different people. No, I liked their gimmick on the main
Oh.
roster. I thought it worked.
Oh,
Wish it-
did you not like her in NXT? Oh, was it just someone else that didn't like her?
it was King Ross. I hated it, not me.
Right, sorry. Right,
God.
I get the joke now.
Yeah, I thought the gimmick worked on the main roster where she would be stuck in traffic and stuff, which meant she couldn't take part in her matches, and
Yeah.
then she was released, and then that was it. What a waste.
What's she doing now?
Flash in the pan.
She's giving her thoughts on the old Nike
She's
campaign and
flashing the
stuff.
what?
Flash in the pan.
I thought you said she's flashing the pan. I was like, that sounds dirty. What the hell?
Hello, toilet bowl.
And a far more, I guess. Oh no, that sounded harsh. But someone who's far more a part of WWE's product these days.
Especially now.
One
Renee.
of them got fired, and one of them still works there.
No, because one of them is now a regular member of the Raw announced team. Renee Young, who I think's great at her job.
Yes.
She's a fantastic
She's
woman.
fantastic, isn't she?
Brings a sunny optimism to the WWE product and a genuine enthusiasm that you sometimes don't see from these slick presentery types.
Yeah.
But she really blends that with the friendliness that comes across. I think she's just proper good at her job. Happy birthday to all of those. Oh no, a controversial one.
Get Richard Tubman in here. It's his favourite.
On the 20th, it's Sexy Star's birthday. Boo.
Boo. 36 years old. Boo.
You will never share a locker room with Cody Rhodes again.
Boo.
But happy birthday. Don't yank any more arms out the sockets, please.
Yeah.
Also on the 20th, God, we got loads on the 20th. Arn Anderson. Love Arn Anderson.
Yeah,
He's brilliant.
double A.
Yes. That huge spine buster to Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Oh, it's still beautiful.
Also a great match with Ric Flair, and I think a fall brawl or something, where I watched it and I was like, this is just fantastic.
There are many, many, many more great
Yes.
Arn matches. I think
That's
a lot
just
of
one off the top
people,
of
a lot of wrestlers regard him as one of the most underrated workers of all time.
Yes. Greg Valentine.
Nipple piercing.
What?
He's got his nipples pierced, doesn't he?
Now?
The
or
hammer.
then?
Yeah, the hammer's
Just-
got his nipples
just now.
pierced.
Oh, there was that picture,
that
where he
picture?
sat in his living room just with his pierced nipples
He's next
out.
to
It was
Brutus, the Barber Beefcake, and they're both stoned off their boxes.
They looked
with their
really
shirts
sweaty.
off, and
They looked like they'd been sat in a room with no
Nipples on.
windows open for like 2 days.
I can only imagine the smell.
I'll try and do a thing. Joel, he's so sexy, you're gonna love him. It's the quintessential stud muffin Gertner. That was all right.
He's still one of my favourite
Off the top of
figures.
my head.
in
He's
all of
surprisingly
wrestling.
young.
Is he?
43 now.
43. Wow, he would have been in his 20s when he looked old.
A young 20-year-old.
Just his limericks were always something to be just to behold. He was the best. He was great.
I wasn't a fan.
I
Happy
loved
birthday,
Gertner.
Ethan Page as well, who I believe is a big player in Evolve right now.
Yes, he. Somebody tweeted me saying, "Do you not think you look a bit like Ethan Page?"
No, you don't like
and
Ethan
I
Page.
said, "No, he's far too attractive." And Ethan Page just liked my reply.
Oh dear.
He does have all the ego after all.
Yes, he does.
I've sold him short there by saying he's a big player in Evolve. He's been a major name on the independent scene. for a
Yes.
while. The 21st, we've got 2. We've got Jack Briscoe, who would have been 77, but sadly
Yep.
passed away. A legend of the wrestling business, of course. And another legend of the wrestling business and one of the biggest tag team lads around, Ricky Morton.
Yeah, Big
a
Rick.
large advert for cocaine at the 2017 Hall of Fame. Oh, was it 2016, 2017? Off his bonds he was, God bless him. But, one of the most famous tag team wrestlers of all time.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly
His name's
bedded many women down the years because that's what they were famous for. Weren't they?
He does loads of coke and sleeps around. That's Ricky Morton. That's essentially what you're saying. I'm just sat here aghast.
He's one of the few.
People say that he's like one of the best bumpers, though. I guess if one is sticking to wrestling.
One of the few wrestlers whose name has become shorthand for something. Like who's the Jannetty of the tag team? Who's the Ricky Morton? I think the Ricky Morton's the one who's going to get beaten down and then eventually make that tag. One. Yes. On the 23rd, we've got 3 birthdays. We've got El Santo, a Mexican legend who would have been 101. At what age do you stop saying they would have been this old? I guess.
Oh, you just say that. You can just say that.
But you never hear like they would have been 467 years old.
You could.
Yeah, you guess you could. El Santo, one of the
I guess it's once it gets beyond realistic terms. Like there's people are like 114, aren't there? But I think if you go past that, maybe it's like yeah.
One of the most legendary Mexican wrestlers of all time, of course.
Not just a wrestler, an actor as well.
Just a big celebrity,
he's like a bloody icon nationally.
And the father of El Hijo del Santo.
Really?
I don't know.
Christ.
I don't know if he is or not. But
I mean, the name would dictate it, wouldn't it?
The son of El Santo, also, we got my pal, Matt, well, all our pals, Matt Hardy.
Yeah, what's he doing at the minute? What's he doing, Jack?
I just wanted to retire and have a nice
There's people like spreading rumours that he might be becoming the 205 Live GM.
I like that. Get him in an off-screen role, on an on-screen role, but not wrestling, because his back has started to fuse to his pelvis, and it's just not good. But no, Matt Hardy is, honestly, bizarrely, one of the best, it turns out, at reinventing himself in wrestling. A bit of a Jericho figure.
I mean, like, when I was a kid, it was all about Jeff. All about Jeff. Yeah. Like, Matt was sort of always the secondary Hardy, and then just very slowly... Like, and for no good reason either. He was always great, but like just very slowly the tides turned for me. And like, Matt's much
what do you mean for no good reason?
Well, no, he always had
like came one of the most captivating gimmicks we've seen in the past 25 years.
No, I meant for no good reason. Matt was always the secondary one.
I guess Jeff had the flashier moves.
Jeff had the flashier moves.
Yeah. All the ladies liked him.
He's proper sexy in that, you know.
Yeah.
One of the most underrated bits of Matt Hardy's career, I think, was V1. I love the version.
Yeah, V1's great.
Cruiserweight
Money
was
Man.
Fantastic.
With Shannon Moore as his he was like his sensei, and he was like
he's MFer.
Yeah, that was it. Yes,
funny wrestling.
The run he had in Ring of Honor as Big Money Matt.
Yeah,
where he would just turn up and people would boo him, and they'd chant things like "Fat Hardy" at him. So he just wondered about how much money he had from working in WWE and rubbed it in people's faces.
I honestly didn't. Obviously, infamously, I didn't like the final deletion and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have to admit that Matt Hardy's one of the few wrestlers who gets wrestling fandom on like an elite level. Like he understands it more than fans do.
When I saw that,
manipulate them and
when I saw the final deletion, I thought that was it. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like this isn't going to go anywhere. I just didn't see it happening.
What do they know?
Yeah.
I was hooked from day one.
I still wasn't a massive fan, but you know, I can appreciate what it's done for his character and career.
Also on the 23rd, on our final birthday of the video, it's Kairi Sane. She is a class wrestler.
She likes boats.
Guess how old she is?
She thinks she's a pirate.
Guess how old she is? You've looked 30. At the list, man.
I made it.
Yeah, she's, you know...
She's 30, by the way, viewer.
30. She's the pirate princess. She's, I think, just one of... To watch in the ring, she moves a bit like water. Like, she's so smooth and so, like, fluid. Why have you found that amusing?
It sounds like you're in the Matrix describing Neo.
Oh, right. Yeah. He moves like water. I think she's great. She's got the best elbow drop I've ever seen.
Oh, God, yeah. It's so clean.
Yeah. And
can't stand a bit dance though at the end.
Really?
Oh, that tears me apart.
She looks like a little child trying to dance.
Yeah. Oh, it's not for me that bit. But the rest of her ensemble.
Yeah.
Apart from the pirate bit as well, very much on board.
Apart from her gimmick.
So everything about her, but everything about her.
But she, a natural babyface, very very good at being a babyface, and hopefully, I think she'll do all right on the main roster. But then it might spell trouble for Bayley.
I mean, Bayley's a person I think would do really well with a bit of reinvention.
She should go back to NXT.
Ooh, that's a
spicy.
That's a big shout. That.
Oh. So that's been it for this week in wrestling. I've been Jack from Cultaholic.com, joined by Ross and Sam. You can find me on Twitter at JackTheJobber.
You can find me on Twitter at LessDefined.
Find me on the Twitter at RossOnWrestling.
If you'd like to as well, you can pledge to our Patreon at patreon.com/Cultaholic. And never forget, most importantly of all, if you haven't already, to smash that subscribe button and to join us.
Join us.